You can't make mistakes, Aaron. People are watching you.
From executive producer Ryan Murphy.
Is there something that you want to tell me?
You don't know the kind of thoughts I have.
Aaron! FX's American Sports Story. Aaron Hernandez. All new Tuesdays on FX. Stream on Hulu.
The Halloween parties at the Roof Pub have become legendary. Plan now for the biggest and best Halloween party in San Antonio this Friday. Kick off the party weekend at the 11th annual Halloween party with DJs inside the Roof Pub and Angry Elephant at 281 in Redland Road. No cover charge and a $1,000 costume contest at midnight. This is the Halloween party you don't want to miss. This Friday night, the Halloween party of the year. We'll see you at the Roo and wear a costume.
George gets justice.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey is missing practice as he is doing his civic duty after he was reportedly selected to be on a 12-person jury for a felony case in Tarrant County. Nick Harris of the Dallas-Fort Worth Star-Telegram reporting there's no clear timetable for how long this case will last.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Oh, welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I appreciate all y'all, however you may be listening, whether that is on 94.1 on your FM dial. If you're listening via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com, or if you are listening and watching via YouTube, of course, we stream all of our shows, The Morning Huddle, The Blitz, and right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on our YouTube channel. Just search SA Sports Star. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment along. Or, if you feel free, call in at 210-656-ESPN, 210-656-3776. The Houston Texans also made a move today, adding a former 5th overall pick from 2019 and Pro Bowler and linebacker Devin White, formerly of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, signed a 1-year deal with the Eagles, was released a few weeks ago by them. He is now paired up with D'Amico Ryans in Houston as they deal with injuries to Al-Shaair and Henry To'oTo'o and Christian Harris still being on the IR. So adding some depth for them. But it's not just about the NFL and Jerry Jones and the place being called a circus or a zoo or whatever you want to call it. It's also the start of the NBA season. And we got a couple of games last night, including some historic moments. First historic moment was the Boston Celtics look really, really good to open up the season, coming off of their championship and raising the banner against what a lot of people expect to be a good New York Knicks team. And they throttled them. They throttled them so badly that they missed their last 13 three-point attempts with all their backups in, as they were sitting on 29, tied for a NBA record of three-pointers made in a game, and he kept hucking them, trying to get that 30th one to get the record to themselves, and they could not. Also, history was made in the terms of Bronny and LeBron taking the court together.
History tonight. The first father-son duo to play together in an NBA game. This is all in the family. And what a celebration for the James family. Ronnie's brother and sister, his mom on hand.
And it is really cool. I know Joe doesn't like it. I know a bunch of people don't like it. It is a circus. It is contrived. Bronny probably shouldn't be in the NBA, but it's still, in that moment, a very cool moment. That LeBron's played enough to have a son old enough to play with him. That is just insanity on its own level. But because of what the high level he continues to play at, he allowed himself the opportunity to be able to make this happen, which, congratulations. It's awesome. And JJ Redick gets the win in his NBA coaching debut. Also, the Spurs will end up taking the court tomorrow night as they take on the Dallas Mavericks up in Dallas to open up the season. And it's going to be very, very intriguing as to what this fully functioning Spurs team looks like on the floor together. And earlier this morning on the morning huddle, Rob Thompson and AJ Hoffman talked about some things that were said in practice yesterday, especially regarding one Stephon Castle.
Spurs, as the season gets underway, we're all excited to see the Spurs get underway as well. And Greg Popovich is also. He spoke a little yesterday and said he still digs the first game of the season.
Absolutely. How can you not? You know, it's and going to Dallas to play a hell of a team. Start out on the road. It's good experience for us, and I think they're going to be on television. So we're probably all excited.
They're all excited to be on television.
Yeah, in color.
That is exciting.
Buddy, I told you, Pop has a. They win early. There's something about Pop in the early season that he kind of gets them fired up, and they're ready to go. I remember, I believe it was 2 years ago, the year that we were trying to truly tank. We were wanking for Wemby in every way, and I think we won 4 of the first 5. I mean, it was an early little win streak that come May or April, we were like, damn, why did we do that back then? So on the other side of this, I do expect a quick start, but it might get a little bumpy.
He did say he doesn't know who his starting 5 is going to be yet.
Liar.
I feel like he probably knows, but yeah, he says he's not sure yet. They asked him when Devin could be returning.
He actually scripted today, all the plays and that kind of thing, and went up and down. No contact yet, but we're still hopeful that, you know, the beginning of November sometime, he'll be with us.
Sounds far off, but that's 2 weeks. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse.
That is, and again, he's hopeful that he'll be with us in 2 weeks. That's
Yeah. No, I will say that there's a big difference between Pop and what he says and what Jerry and Mike say about the Cowboys. He's normally much more honest about the time frame.
Okay. And then finally, he talked about the new guys. There's one clip here where he talks about how not everybody knows each other, and then he talks about Stephon Castle. But here's him talking about the new squad.
I think I know a little bit more. They've got a little bit of corporate knowledge now, believe it or not, from the last 2 years, because all the things that we've gone through, really. So I think I know them pretty well. Victor is still somebody that they're learning how to play with. And, of course, you know, Harrison and Chris will add another dimension that they're going to have to get used to. But I think we know more about our team now than we did last year in general.
I think you've got more known commodities this year than you did last year.
No, there's not a lot of changeover. We don't have we got Stephon Castle that's really, and Chris Paul is a pro.
Well, that's
He
what I'm
walked
saying.
in.
Guys like Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, you add them, like, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, Paul starter, backup. I don't know how it'll work
Chris
out.
Paul's going to start.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about minutes, total minutes at the end of the game. I don't know how they're going to distribute. Trey's going to play a lot. And I'd look at the same thing with Harrison Barnes. Is he a starter? Probably should be a starter. Should he get the most minutes?
Probably not.
So I think when we ask Pop about who the starters are going to be, I think he's kind of trying to figure out where these guys are best at, because I think the minutes idea, who's going to be playing the most minutes and that kind of rotation, that's pretty much kind of set. Because I do think no matter what the starting lineup ends up being, Keldon's going to come off the bench. I think that's a given. He's going to be the sixth guy coming off the bench. It appears to be that Zach Collins will not start. It looks like that Sohan will be the starter and Collins will be the first big off the bench to come off and either spell Victor or Sohan, depending on what the requirements are. I'm not sure if Barnes starts there or Champagne has earned it with his shooting. There might be that. So I do think there's a couple of questions, but
and remember when we were there, when we went to the preseason game, it was Victor, Sohan, Barnes, Champagne, and Paul were all on the floor together.
And I think that could very well be the starting lineup.
It feels then like you don't really have a two guard. But
no, until Devin gets back. You wondered, would you put Steph in? Would you start the season
I
with
would.
Castle?
I think I would.
I think I might.
And I'd rather have I think I'd rather have Champagne coming off the bench and providing a little bit of a spark. But he's also one of the only guys that I want shooting the ball.
And by the preseason, Pop feels the same way, but he took a lot. He got a lot of them. And Paul was part of that.
I would not be shocked also based on what I saw in a couple preseason games. I wouldn't be surprised to see more Mamu than Zach Collins.
You went in a direction I wanted you to go. Yes, I think Mamu will, as the season goes, play a bigger and bigger role to the point where he's taken Zach's job. I think long term.
The way Zach Collins plays is that is kind of being phased out by this San Antonio, the way this team is built. His job is going to be phasing out.
Agreed. And the athleticism, Mamu brings his ability to. He hit threes this year. So.
Yeah. Well, for a team that's desperate for a guy who can make some threes, maybe he does get some more time. But I'd like to see. I just want to know what you've got with Steph, and when Devin gets back, it's going to limit how much you're playing Steph, obviously, or it's going to take Chris Paul off the floor. Which
that's not going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen. So,
I think if Pop could pick it, Steph would come off the bench with no prescribed for whom. We just know at 8 minutes he's coming off for the guy that needs it, whether it be for defense because we know he's capable, whether it be for offense. At 8 minutes he's coming into sub along with whoever. With Keldon and the second point guard, whether that's Trey at that moment or it's Chris Paul. I saw a lot of this with Blake Wesley too. I think Wesley's going to play a little bit bigger role than I thought he was, but with all the shifting, I think Malachi Brenham is now number 13 on this bench. I don't know where he plays when we're talking about bench because we haven't even brought up.
He's further down than Bassey.
Oh well, Bassey's that front line help. I mean, out of sight, out of mind. We didn't get to see a lot of what he can do last year. And his forte is offensive rebounds. He's good under the paint, and there'll be times for him to play. But I do think there'll be games where we don't see Bassett.
Because the reason why I say I'd like to see Castle start now is when Devin comes back, like, what is that? Do you stunt his growth now? Because I don't want to stunt Steph. Steph Castle's going to. If this team's ever worth a damn, Steph Castle's going to be the second best player on it.
And you don't want to start saying it, but behind the scenes, in that every coach has a grease board or a lineup. Starters, my backups, and long term, Steph is in Devin's spot. Long term, yeah. So not that he's not more important now, not that Devin's not a great basketball player that we don't desperately need, but in the long term, the starting shooting guard, the starting two guard, however you want to define them, is going to be Steph Castle.
Yes.
It's not going to be Devin.
It needs to be.
So do we want to rush that? I think if we rushed it, we might lose a few more games than we want to if we're truly chasing the playoffs, because I think Devin does provide, like Pop was saying, that corporate knowledge. But if it's about long-term, let's put our places in order, Steph keeps this job and Devin comes off the bench with KD.
And the great thing is if you start Steph to begin the season and he struggles, when Devin comes back, great. Devin gets these minutes.
Agreed.
And if he doesn't struggle, great. We can bring Devin along real slowly, and there's no rush. But and maybe you start that transition sooner than later. That Steph is the dude.
Again, where are we going to be in 3 years? Where do we want to be this year? I think that's really going to play in this combination. It doesn't mean that Devin is not long for the Spurs. I think that there's nothing wrong with what Devin is capable of doing, but Steph Castle was the number 4 pick in the draft for a reason. He is that good. And there hadn't been anything too much for him.
Before we head to break, I'm going to let you hear this one last clip about Steph Castle's adjustment to the NBA.
He hasn't missed a step. He's just, getting used to the physicality, the speed of the game, and, learning what our plays are. Really, it's like a new playbook for him. But they did a lot of continuity stuff at UConn, and we also like that sort of thing. So it's been a pretty quick study for him, I think. He hasn't had any problems.
That tells me he wants him on the floor.
It's interesting when he talked about continuity, and I think a lot of people get lost when you think of basketball. There's an offense, and then there are plays. You have an offense, which is the overarching theme of how we do things, and then there are plays inside of that offense. So you can come down. You don't call a play necessarily, and everybody knows where to go when you come down the other side of the court. Whether a play's been called or not, we all start doing this thing. That's the thing that's hard to learn, the continuity part. And, the way that UConn coaches and the way that they've run their offense, they run an offense and then they call plays inside of that. And that's a very difficult thing to pick up, just to know what the flow is. It takes months. And for Pop to say, yeah, man, the continuity thing is the easy part. That's normally the hard part for players when they get here.
Look, Steph Castle, there had been a lot said about him. Pop said that, and CP3 also talked about his first impressions of Steph Castle to this point.
Yeah, I think of all the point guards that I've seen over the years, one of the things that you have to have in common with all of them is a grit, a will. Aside from talent and skill, you got to have some type of chip on your shoulder, and Steph definitely got that. I think that was the first thing that I paid attention to, is that he not looking for somebody to be his friend or whatnot. He's a hooper, and I respect it.
Strong words coming from both Popovich and Chris Paul, a damn near 20-year vet and future Hall of Famer, when talking about Steph Castle. And it's very, very intriguing what this team's going to look like to me. I saw Frank Mateo say he still thinks the Spurs are sellers at the trade deadline, but I don't know. They mentioned starters. Gilberto Padilla says Soham, Wemby, Barnes, either Castle or Vassell when healthy, and Paul. I agree with that. I think that will likely be the starting minutes. Fred Villarreal says Mamu played well most of the times, but Pop was reluctant with him last year. Hopefully Pop's been convinced of his good play. I think he has, because A, they re-signed him. B, remember, when the Spurs were playing really well without Soham, without Keldon, without Devin Vassell, without Champagnie at the end of the year due to injuries, and Victor was by himself out there, one of the guys he was playing with was Mamu, and they played really well down the stretch. So I think Mamu has earned his burn. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, Joe got pretty heated. Not about Bron, not about Bronny. He got hit about them too, but about an article that came out in ESPN about the Cowboys and the distractions around the organization. We'll play it for you next, right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game. In fact, mine and 10 million others are playing this every day because we know what we're doing. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on your sports action. Join me and so many others playing every day. You know why? Prize Picks invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Look, you know your sports. How many yards is CeeDee Lamb going to get this week? Is Jonathan Taylor going to get 85 or more? You know what you're doing. Go make your play. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? You know, you play fantasy football. Put your knowledge to work. And remember, use the code Alamo, and there's $50 in it for you. Download the app now. Use Alamo. Play with your friends. It's the best way to have fun and get yourself in the game. Remember, Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can add to big payouts. Download the app today. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
If you're a man and you live in or around the San Antonio area, you need to listen to this message. Do you find yourself stressing about or even avoiding intimate moments? Do you find yourself thinking, is it going to work? Does your partner look at you and ask, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Do you get frustrated when things don't live up to their expectations? Men, you're not alone, and we have a solution. For over a decade, Mojo has delivered 100% guaranteed male performance results. Mojo truly works every single time. Guys, Mojo works when all other things fail, and its proprietary formula has helped thousands of men live their best lives again. Yeah! Mojo is 100% natural, blood pressure safe, diabetic friendly, and fast acting. And Mojo is now available in both spray and capsule formulas, exclusively at Pure Line Nutrition. Call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today at 210-494-2210. That's Pure Line Nutrition, 210-494-2210.
House of Cards and Collectibles is having a huge 10th anniversary sale this Saturday. Thousands of unsorted sports cards will be on sale along with discounted card supplies. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, and Lorcana will also be sale priced. Bring the kids for the costume contest, take pictures with Pikachu, and free door prizes every hour. Remember, this Saturday, doors open at 12 noon. House of Cards and Collectibles at 2105 Vance Jackson. See you there.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9047. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9047. That's 800-575-9047. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I appreciate y'all riding along with me. Earlier on the Blitz, Joe and I got into a discussion about the Dallas Cowboys and the way the operations are run as an ESPN article came out, really putting a light on former players and what the perceived distractions that revolve around the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys, because there's always something going on, whether it's Jerry yelling at radio hosts and threatening to fire them, or today, his fan tours are the controversy du jour. An article written by ESPN that's a very good article. It's well done. And the reason I say it's well done, I don't agree with the concept of it, but it's well done because there's no opinion by the writer. The writer she writes the story. She says what some former players have said and what's going on and how it's going on there at the Star in Frisco. Kaylin Kaler of ESPN wrote this article, and it's causing quite a bit of stir today. There's no question about that, because we first heard about this from Dalton Schultz. It was last year after he left the Cowboys and became part of the Houston Texans. He was doing an interview, and he basically said it was like being in a zoo.
No, dude, it's just like there's people literally going on tours while you're lifting in the weight room, and they've got like a one-way mirror for people to like look at. Like it's a zoo, dude. There's people tapping on the glass, like trying to get people's attention as they're doing, power cleans or whatnot. And it's different. And I mean, that's the brand that they've built. That's what Jerry Jones likes. That's the way that they run things. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you don't realize like how many eyeballs and how much that can maybe distract from, stuff just in the locker room, being in the facility, until you go somewhere else and you're like, holy crap, like, dude, there's none of that. This is also a really well-run organization in Houston.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It hadn't done you much good, though, has it? Dalton Schultz not exactly setting the world on fire in Houston, but I digress. He thinks it's a zoo, and a lot of players are agreeing with him. A lot of former players are agreeing with him as they leave off and go to other teams. Dante Fowler's one. Kelvin Joseph is another that I see. Tony Pollard has chimed in on this article as well. Dorrance Armstrong has chimed in on this. So a lot of former players that are obviously played for the Cowboys that no longer do are chiming in on this and saying that what a distraction it is. Even Mike McCarthy, to some extent, from his comments on Monday at his press conference, kind of intimated there might be some distractions.
You address them as a whole because it's all part of that external focus that, frankly, we need to move away from. Frankly, I mean, if anything, working here, in the intensity of externals and potential distractions is high. That's part of our part of our operation. Green Bay was cold. I mean, everybody has something, that you have that's probably different than other places you work. So that's part of our norm. The external noise or pro or con, it's we prefer the pro, but it's part of working here, and it's part of our landscape.
The Dallas has tours, Green Bay has cold, and I'm sure we could find something for every NFL team. It's interesting that what they do, if you go up to the Star in Dallas, they have several a day, $40 to take the tour of the Star in Frisco, and you can take the tour while the players are there. There are some ground rules, we understand from this article, that you can't yell out to the players. You can't take pictures of them unless they come up to you. Now, if they come up to you, you can talk to them and you can take pictures with them. But you're not supposed to make a lot of noise. You're not supposed to cause a lot of, oh my goodness, there's Dak Prescott.
Dak. You're not supposed to be able to do that. That's for $40. For $75, you can actually get lunch there at the Star at one of the restaurants. You get a little coupon for that. And then there's another one that's like $90 that you get some frills and stuff as well. But these tours go on Monday through Friday at the Star there in Frisco while the players are there, either lifting weights or doing whatever else they're doing. One thing in this article told a story of Micah Parsons, I guess, holding up his daughter, and according to this article, nobody bothered him, but it was a cute thing to see. Micah Parsons apparently doesn't bother him. He came out today. Our good friend RJ Ochoa had this on Twitter. It was the article on Twitter, and Micah actually responded to that on Twitter, and there's some words that I can't say. But he goes on to say that there are some people that just can't handle the bright lights. Now, that's from Micah Parsons. That's how he feels about it. And so obviously it doesn't bother him. But I'm just curious because I've got some thoughts on this, which obviously I'm going to share with you. But I'd love for you guys to share with me as well what your thoughts are. The first thing that I think is ridiculous is that a fan tour, could impede the Cowboys to winning a Super Bowl. That to me is ridiculous. And the headline is the worst part of that story. I don't think having fans tour your facility is going to impede anything when it comes to winning a Super Bowl. Secondly, these players that are whining about the distractions, I want to ask you something. Wherever you work, whatever it is that you do for a living, are there not distractions in your workplace ever? Does nobody come in? Is there not loud noise, maybe some music coming from a cubicle, whatever the case may be? Here at the radio station, we have tours all the time, people coming in. We have winners that win prizes that come into the studio during the show, typically when we're on a commercial break. But we take pictures, we say hello, we talk, and it's just what you do. It's what we do. So I want to ask you the question. Why is being an NFL football player, why is it so different that somebody's watching you lift weights? And why does that distract you? I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. I go to the gym. Pledge, I know you go to the gym. I know there are distractions there all the time. Ray, my buddy Ray, he's a distraction. My brother, he's a distraction. But you get your work in. You get your job done. And I don't understand. So somebody please help me with this because I just don't understand how tours are that big of a distraction. What are you going to do? You just keep doing what you're doing. Nobody's telling you not to. Nobody's throwing anything at you. Nobody's telling you to come here. Nobody's doing any of that kind of stuff. Why is it a distraction? I keep hearing, and I've heard it from a couple of people, Dalton Schultz being one, that it's like a zoo. Okay, and so what? You're a professional football player. What is it like when you're playing football on Sunday afternoon and all those people are watching you? Is that like a zoo? I mean, I don't understand the difference. I really don't understand the difference. And I know you got the smirk on your face over there, Pledge. I get it. You don't agree with me. So I'm going to give you some time to explain yourself.
Look, I just think it's a part of the bigger problem in Dallas.
Uh-huh.
And that's the culture.
Okay.
The culture is Jerry Jones down. And Jerry Jones sets that culture. And the tours during the workout are just part of an overarching issue that stems throughout the entire Cowboys organization. Nowhere else does any other team go through this. Nowhere else does any other team have to answer to what the owner said to the media twice a week on a radio show. Just little distractions that a lot of teams are looking to block out the noise of external to galvanize themselves in a locker room. And the Cowboys bring in all the outside noise and comments and distractions and people and anything else that they can that take away from them being able to zero in on something. Yes, everybody has stuff that they have to deal with at work at times, but not like in Dallas. In Dallas, it's just different. And sure, some people can block that out. It's not everybody's built the exact same way. And you can't find 53 people that have the same core values. Michael Irvin talked about finding the carrot that really motivated a player. I know in the gym, I get a lot more done when there's less people in there just because of lack of external noise. And I get better workouts isolated. That's just me. Some people can push through that noise. Some people can't. ADHD is a real thing. Football players probably have it. Like, everybody's different. People handle things differently. But for the most part, most teams try and block out as much noise as they can. Where on the other side, the Cowboys try and bring in all the noise that they can at once. And a distraction's a distraction. We all have to deal with them, but you try to limit as many as you can to prevent blocking your way towards the goal you're trying to achieve. I know that here in this station, people have been talked about stop going into the producer's room and distracting Pledge during the show. That's been a real thing that has been said because it is a distraction and it does sometimes take away.
Okay. A lot to address there, Pledge. And I wanted you to get all of that off your chest. And I want to address it all. First of all, you and I, we deal with it. We're not making millions of dollars. And I say that, and I think it's important. The reason those players are making the money that they're making are because of those fans. A big part of it, whether they're in person or watching on television. That's why they make the money that they make. So without those people that are coming to see them and wanting to see them and wanting to be with them, they wouldn't make the money that they're making now. The game is entertainment. It's an entertainment business. That's what it is. Jerry Jones, he's got the richest franchise in professional sports because he is a salesman and because he does that. And if you're coming to the Dallas Cowboys, I would hope that you would know what you're getting into, because I would bet, and I'd like to take a poll, Ryan, we can't do this, but I'd like to take a poll for everybody that's played for the Dallas Cowboys that has been successful with the Dallas Cowboys. Would they trade that for anything else? And I bet you 80% of those players would say absolutely not. Dak Prescott, with all the crap that he deals with, the benefits so outweigh anything else that he has to put up with because of the money that he makes and the prestige that he has. Whether people criticize him or praise him, either one, it doesn't make any difference. You remember the Dallas Cowboys, you just went to Hollywood, and you better know that. And if you can't handle it, get out and go somewhere else. And maybe that's why some of these players do. I find it fascinating and funny that professional athletes complain because somebody's watching them work out. It just baffles me. And
that was Joe Reinagle and myself earlier today on the Blitz. And listen, I'm not saying that that's the only reason. I'm saying it's a part of a bigger reason of the culture that surrounds the Cowboys. And they have to put up with a lot of things that others don't. Other teams try to block out that noise. The Cowboys openly welcome it. And Mike McCarthy said about the external noise, it's like having to deal with the cold in Green Bay. The problem is the cold in Green Bay, the players that play there often acclimate to it, and you want players that aren't used to it coming into it, so it gives you an advantage. The noise you turn up on the Cowboys, no other team has to acclimate to that noise because it's centrally focused on the Dallas Cowboys. So there's no real advantage to having that external noise outside of just making the team richer, which does nothing for those other players, puts no extra money in their pocket, which is why Tony Pollard, Dante Fowler, and everybody else, Javon Curse, are all in other places. This is Extra Innings with Pledge. I'm James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, big trade in the NFL, even though Jerry Jones doesn't know where to go get players. We'll talk about it when we come back right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM and sasportstar.com.
94.1 FM.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching games. I love playing the pick'em game where you choose higher or lower on player stats, especially this time of year with football. Obviously, basketball getting started. And right now, Underdog, they're running a special promo or bonus almost every single day like Profit Boost, where you can pump up your winnings in just a tap. When you apply the boost to eligible entries, discounts where you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better chance at the win. Free picks, they're basically a sure thing. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 on that stat for that pick to win. All new users get a free pick, and it's boost over from now until October 27th. You can boost your profit on all NBA entries by 20%. Underdog is literally giving you unlimited profit boost to make basketball picks. Download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR at Underdog Fantasy.
Must be 18 plus and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Howdy, Aggies. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, inviting you to watch all A&M games at the Angry Elephant at 281 in Redland Road. Owned by Chip Ingram, class of 98, the Angry Elephant is known for their liberal cocktails at conservative prices and the best hot dog in Texas. Since 2012, the Angry Elephant's been the place to watch A&M, and this year is no different. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Rue Pub at 281 in Redland Road. The Angry Elephant. Like your car, love your Aggies. Gig 'em.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
911, what's your emergency?
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In San Antonio, 5 domestic violence calls happen every hour.
The time to end domestic violence in our community is now.
Step out of violence.
You are not alone.
Call 211 for help. Call 911 if it's an emergency.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Let me ask you a question. Is your roof ready for anything? Well, Stevens Roofing, a locally owned company, has been serving our community for decades. Whether it's a commercial project or residential, or repairing your old roof, or maybe installing a new one, they've got you covered. And now Stevens offers solar. Stevens Solar Solutions can save you money and energy. Stevens Roofing, quality craftsmanship, solar solutions, and local expertise under one roof. Call 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Progressive presents Good News, Bad News, Dumb News, then Great News. Good news. While leaning over the fence, your neighbors said you could save money bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. Your neighbor leaned over a little too much and broke your fence. Dumb news. Somehow fence wood is more expensive than wood. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and to plant really tall shrubs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. I'm James Pledger. Look, the NFL is in full effect right now. The trade deadline is approaching, and teams are making use of that and other things. As a matter of fact, we had a couple of big moves throughout the day today. But, Jerry, just as of last week on Tuesday, when he blew up on those guys, Sean and RJ, up on the Fan, said this heading into San Francisco.
Well, first of all, where are you going to go to get any players? Seriously, where are you going to go to get any players for the next week against San Francisco?
Well, the Texans just signed a guy off the street in linebacker Devin White, who's 26 years old, a former Pro Bowler and a number 5 overall pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Super Bowl champions. So the Texans found a way to find a player. And so did the Kansas City Chiefs, as they made a trade early this morning as the Huddle guys reacted, AJ and Rob.
All right. We got breaking news in the world of the NFL as Patrick Mahomes gets himself a little bit of help.
Well, too bad it's kind of a downgrade for the quarterback situation for the guy that's moving.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins. The Titans and Chiefs are finalizing a trade to send DeAndre Hopkins to the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is awesome. Anybody who's a D-Hop fan, this is huge.
Well, yeah.
You know, this guy's been freed. He's been in the gulag. How long has he been there? 2 years?
Yeah.
Oh, has he caught a pass?
It might be longer than 2 years.
3 years now? And then, the Arizona thing was an utter catastrophe as well. I mean, he was happy to leave, but it didn't work out well. So good news for this might, honestly, if he closes his career out and gets him a ring, catches a few more impressive balls in front of a lot of people, that might be worth a gold jacket for him. I mean,
might be.
This is the kind of thing that could get him there.
Signed a 2-year deal with the Titans in July of 2023. Has 15 receptions for 173 yards and a touchdown this year.
Poor bastard.
The compensation is a conditional 4th-round pick.
Wow, that's more than the Cowboys got for Amari. But as Jerry told us yesterday, that was more about the paycheck. It wasn't about the pick. It was about the money.
Yeah.
That was Steven that I think told us that.
I don't know if DeAndre Hopkins has any juice left. He probably doesn't.
I mean, how old is he?
He's
got to be.
He's been in the league 11 years, 12 years. He's got probably 32.
There's still something in the tank. Those guys can still produce, but it's not going to be a lot. But for me, it's enough for them to hold on. But more importantly, it just seems like a lifeline for him. Just as he winds things down, go out on a team that is a well-oiled machine.
You don't want to be playing on the Titans.
No.
Like if this is the end, you don't want that to be the end. And it's funny. I you know what? We'll do that in the 7:00 hour.
He's right. This very well could, finishing with a ring, maybe re-signing on a team-friendly deal to continue to play with Patrick Mahomes, stacking a few more 1,000-yard seasons and some imminent success, could do wonders for his Hall of Fame candidacy when it's all said and done. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. We'll put a bow on the show when we come back right here. Don't go nowhere.
Hey guys, it's AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Guys, excited to tell you about my friends over at SA Card House. They're located right off of 281 at Bitters, and this is the best card house in all of San Antonio. This is a premier poker experience. I got used to playing online in Vegas, and then every once in a while I'd go out, I'd get in the casino and play cards. I'm so excited to be back in a place where I can get my hands on the cards, sit down at the table, feel the feel of the table, feel those chips. You gotta love it. This is a private social club. They're open 7 days a week, and they're open all hours of the night. So you get whatever hours you're working, you get off work, you want to go play some poker, great. You work in the mornings, you want to play in the afternoon, great, like me. It's a great time, great atmosphere, a clean place, which is a big deal for me, and they welcome every skill level. On top of that, they've got a bar and grill, Foster's Bar and Grill attached. You don't have to be a member to dine. 5-star chefs on hand with nightly specials. The food is incredible. Check them out and check them out online, sacardhouse.com.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at tsaog.com.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
If you're a man and you live in or around the San Antonio area, you need to listen to this message. Do you find yourself stressing about or even avoiding intimate moments? Do you find yourself thinking, is it going to work? Does your partner look at you and ask, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Do you get frustrated when things don't live up to their expectations? Men, you're not alone, and we have a solution. For over a decade, Mojo has delivered 100% guaranteed male performance results. Mojo truly works every single time. Guys, Mojo works when all other things fail, and its proprietary formula has helped thousands of men live their best lives again. Yeah! Mojo is 100% natural, blood pressure safe, diabetic friendly, and fast acting. And Mojo is now available in both spray and capsule formulas exclusively at Pure Line Nutrition. Call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today at 210-494-2210. That's Pure Line Nutrition, 210-494-2210.
Change is exciting, like moving into a new house or to a new city. Everything is new and different. Well, everything is also new and exciting with the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. From the design and styling to the performance and tech features, Kicks has been totally reimagined from the inside out. This city-size crossover is ready to take on city life and have fun doing it. Head to nissanusa.com to see it today.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure. Right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, at SA Sports Star on YouTube. You can follow me at I Am Pleasure. Don't forget to join the Blitz tomorrow. They're going to be out at the Little Woodrows on Braun Road, brought to you by Flight by Yingling. Go out, say what's up, distract them in between, during, before the show. Make sure to make it feel like they're in a zoo. They're going to have tickets to give away to see Dallas take on Philadelphia, with tickets to go to the Bill Bates Ultimate Tailgate for that game. So be sure to get out there to the Little Woodrows on Braun Road, presented by Flight by Yingling. Flight, the next generation in light beer. Gonna have quite the game for you tomorrow as well as we get you ready for Vikings and Rams. Rams on the verge of potentially unloading a Matthew Stafford or even a Cooper Kupp. The Chiefs actually called on Cooper Kupp. They made the trade for the DeAndre Hopkins. The Texans end up going and adding a Devin White to help put some depth into that linebacking core for them. But they might need to upgrade that offensive line before the trade deadline. I don't know if maybe a Wyatt Teller or Joel Bitonio would be available. Maybe there are some names lingering around in free agency that you could use to at least just inject some competition. But what we're seeing out of the Texans offensive line through the first 6-7 weeks of the season, as they sit at 5-2, has not been great to this point. Joe Mixon seems to be making a lot of things happen on his own, and CJ Stroud has been under constant duress. So the Houston Texans may need to make at least one move, if nothing else, just to put everybody on notice and let them know that what is happening will not be tolerated in terms of the false starts, the jumping off sides, the holding, the completely whiffing of assignments in pass protection. Maybe just a shakeup, just to bring some fear into that room to let them know that the Texans mean business and they are trying to capitalize on this situation. That's going to do it for me right here tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow, especially in the morning. Don't forget to catch AJ and Rob to start your day on the Morning Huddle. And then they'll be quickly followed by the Blitz at 2 o'clock. But coming up next, we got Cowboys Crosstalk for you right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
94.1 FM.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station when you buy a Connecticut water softener, a free drinking water system installed at your kitchen sink with the cleanest, best tasting water you've ever had.